There, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be Worlds Collide deck, and it is from my box number 3. A nice yellow Archon here. We got, oh, by the way, my last one from box 3 was, you know what, I actually have to look this up. Right, it was Saurian Shadows Untamed, and it looks already like we got Dees and Shadows and Star Alliance. So, very nice there. And this is Kalita, the Vassal of Morality. I think this could be an interesting situation here. Obviously with Shadows, I'm looking for some steel, I would love to get some plinky damage, maybe some purge effects. I've gotten so many oubliettes lately. I don't mind that. You know, with these houses, the thing I'm probably most worried about going in is big creature-based board control. I'm probably not going to get that. Could in the Dees. In Dees, I could get some steel, some damage-based board control, some hard destroy. And in Star Alliance, I'm looking for things that'll just speed up the deck. Maybe have some cool combos. Alright, so we get Dees first. Buzzle is a 3-power beast with skirmish and play fight. You may purge one of Buzzle's neighbors. If you do, ready Buzzle. Now, importantly, especially because we have Star Alliance in here and we could get some heavy ward effects, if you purge Buzzle's neighbor and it has ward, obviously the ward prevents the purge and it loses the ward instead of being purged. But then you did not purge it. So when it says if you do ready Buzzle, you didn't. So you don't ready Buzzle. So that's important to know. You need to actually purge the creature next to Buzzle in order for it to ready. Dendrix is a 5-power demon with fight. Your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Cool. Edoram is a 4-power demon with reap. Destroy a creature of the house with the most creatures in play. Exhume is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you choose a creature in your discard pile, and you may play that creature as if it belonged to the active house and was in your hand. I really like that with the Star Alliance stuff. Next up, we have Festering Touch. This is first one of these I think I've gotten. Gives you a bonus amber, and you choose up to 2 creatures. You deal 1 damage to each of those creatures. But if it was already damaged, you deal 3 damage to it instead. So if we can get some plinky damage on things, then this allows us to do even more, which is great. Ooh, 2 of those. Cool. Then we have Harbinger of Doom, which is a 2-power demon with 3 armor, and destroy each creature. Obviously, if you need it for a board wipe, that could be good. But also, you know, it's good Buzzle fodder. Because you wouldn't pop the destroyed effect in that case. Not Finished With You is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you shuffle any number of creatures from your discard pile into your deck. Very cool. 2 of those. Between that and the Exhume, I'm actually pretty excited about the Shadows and Star Alliance, both of which tend to have some cool play effects. Oh, yes. Okay, and this is one of my favorite Dees cards. Eye on the Fringes. It's a 1-power imp with elusive. By the way, I've seen some people, they're not sure if it's E or I, and I guess the pronunciation could vary. But it's definitely the word is I. It's just I guess local variation of it. So I imagine it could be quite Scottish, you know. Oh, you got your eye on the fringes. Something like that in a nice brogue, which I'm probably butchering, but I'm doing my best. And I do have that in my ancestry, although I don't think that means much. But I grew up hearing it. So anyway, that's Eye on the Fringes, elusive, 1 power imp. And during your turn, after you discard a discard from your hand, you may purge a discard from a discard pile. If you do steal 1, that can be just super devastating. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that. Good burst steal. Hysteria returns each creature to its owner's hand. Ooh, and Library of the Damned is an artifact and location that exhausts to archive a card. That's cool. Hysteria, by the way, pops wards. I mean, the wards replace the, return it to its owner's hand effect, but that would get rid of all those wards. And yeah, library's pretty good. We could get some archive effects in Star Alliance 2. We'll see what we get. Breaker Hill is a 1 power elf thief with elusive, and each of its neighbors gains action steal 1. That could be pretty cool with some of the D stuff. If you don't have a great use for the Buzzle or Dendrix or whatever fighting, then you can always, if it's next to Breaker Hill, get a little steal in. Kaimor Eclipse, a little more board control. When you play it, you shuffle each flank creature into its owner's deck. So there's just a lot of return between the Hysteria and this. There's a bit of return effects. Ooh, 2 of that. Mug gives you an amber, and you move an amber from a creature to your pool and then deal 2 damage to that creature. It has been so far said by FFG, I'm going to be careful about using the word ruled, but it's been said by FFG in an email to someone that you do pick a creature and then move an amber from that creature. So you can pick a creature that doesn't have amber on it, and that's fine. There was some early discussion saying, oh, it says move an amber and not, that's the thing you're picking is an amber, not a creature. But anyway, thankfully FFG went with the same understanding, and there's plenty of room in the wording for it to be referring to a creature. But I digress. Wow, this is a lot of, is it? Yeah, I feel like it's pretty high bonus amber so far for Worlds Collide. Worlds Collide likes to generate amber other ways, but seems pretty good. Trust No One has you steal an amber. If there are no friendly creatures in play, you instead steal 1 amber for each house represented among enemy creatures to a max of 3. That could be pretty interesting. 2 of those. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy about that. Yansigang is a 5 power elf thief with action steal 1. And one important question, one important question is, if you have this next to a Breaker Hill, do you steal 2 when you do the action? And I think the answer is yes, but I have not read anything official on that. Fidget is a 2 power fairy thief with elusive. After it reaps, you discard a random card from your opponent's archives or the top card of their deck. If that card is an action, play it as if it were yours. This is super cool. I love this card. Yeah, it's just a fun card. It's like a more limited but recurrent Merkins. So, I like it. Skeleton Key is an artifact, an item, and it exhausts to have a friendly creature capture 1. That's pretty cool. Ooh, and Special Delivery. I've been getting a lot of this. It is an artifact with a bonus amber, and it has Omni. You sacrifice it, deal 3 damage to a flank creature, and if this damage destroys that creature, you purge it. Very nice effect there. Cool. By the way, here's the weird thing about Eye on the Fringes is, with Eye on the Fringes, you discard a discard from your hand, but when you do that, you purge a discard from a discard pile. So you could to steal 1. And that could be one of your own, or it could be one of your opponent's. So very flexible. And I don't mind purging my own, because that can thin your deck out. But obviously, if you purge your opponent's, and I think purging one of your own is typically worth it in order to steal. But purging your opponent's is like extra good, because you get to pick their best ones and murder them. Oh, I thought we were done with shadows. Last one, we have Rigged Lottery, which is an action with a bonus amber, and each player discards the top 5 cards of their deck, and for each shadows card discarded, its owner gains 1 amber. Yeah, I think that's 9 amber pips already, which again is pretty good for Worlds Collide, and then on top of that, you think the Trust No Ones are probably each good for a steel. Eye on the Fringes is probably good for 1 steel at least. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see. Let's go on to Star Alliance. We have Cloaking Dongle. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber, and this creature and each of its neighbors gains elusive. That could be nice with some of the creatures. Calm Officer Kirby is a 3-power human with Play Fight Reap. You may play a non-Star Alliance artifact, upgrade, or action card this turn. I feel like this deck is heavy on action cards. It's I guess a little light on creatures is the other way to say that, but I feel like this you're gonna have something to use when you play that. I've had decks where I play that and don't get a use out of it, but I think that's not going to be the case here. 2 of those, awesome. First Officer Frame is a 4-power human with Play Fight Reap. A friendly creature captures 1. It's a good way to keep your opponent off of forging. 2 of those, nice. We have Lieutenant Karkar. This helps us a lot with our board control issue. He's a 5-power alien and Hanjuhan with Taunt and Hazardous 3. And Hanjuhan is not something that's on anything else, but Star Alliance has this tendency to pull creatures from other, I guess, races and factions. So, this Hanjuhan could be something that features prominently in a future house. That would not surprise me. Red Alert is an action. When you play it, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, deal damage to each enemy creature equal to the difference. In a not super creature heavy deck, this can be quite good. Censor Chief Garcia, a little more amber control here. 3-power human with Play Fight Reap. Keys cost +2 during your opponent's next turn. Tactical Officer Moon is a 4-power human with Assault 2, and when you play her, you may rearrange the creatures in a player's battle line. Oh, that's cool. And I love her art. This is my first time opening a Tactical Officer Moon. That seems pretty nice. I'm excited to see how that works out. Crash Muldoon is a 3-power human pilot with Deploy. Crash Muldoon enters play ready and has the action use a neighboring non-Star Alliance creature. That could be pretty cool. We've gone through all of them so far, so what could that be? That could be Fidget, Yancey Gang, Breaker Hill, not so good. Eye on the Fringes, not so good. Maybe Edoram or Dendrix could be good, but I think typically what I probably want is to get it next to the Fidget or Yancey Gang for a lot of fun. Yeah, so possibilities there, and of course you could always just reap or whatnot. Ooh, Operations Officer Yishi. This is another example of what I was talking about with a creature that is seems pretty clearly coming over to Star Alliance from Sanctum. This is a 4-power spirit with 2 armor. Looks so Sanctum-y. And Taunt, and each of Operations Officer Yishi's neighbors gains Fight, Reap, Capture, and Amber. That is pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And, on the Star Alliance cards, that's good. On, Fidget, that would be good. Edoram, stuff that already wants to do, Reap anyway. And, of course, the Taunt is nice to protect something like Eye on the Fringes. And then we have another rare in here. This is Psionic Officer Lang, who's a human, and she says, after an enemy creature reaps, archive the top card of your deck. Wow, that is so cool. Wow, that's great. I've seen her before, but I haven't opened her in a deck. That is super cool. After an enemy creature reaps, archive the top card of your deck. That is a nice ability. Remember what I said about this not being super creature heavy? Wow, we got a lot of creatures in Star Alliance, but it's so nice because the Calm Officer Kirbys actually will have lots of things to enable, and I like these creatures. Nothing crazy huge, but they're not bad either, and some abilities that can help with the board situation. No ward in here, so that's an interesting thing. All this stuff, when it dies, it just dies, which makes Harbinger of Doom a little dangerous. But, you know, there's just the one of that. I'm not that worried about it. This seems fun and very interesting. Like, it'll do a lot of interesting things. So I am pretty excited about trying it out. That is, again, Khalida, the Vassal of Morality. Did I even read that before? I don't think I did. That's a cool name. Khalida, the Vassal of Morality. And has a nice little interesting arc on there. Looks like a cross between maybe like a fawn and a crab or something, and a samurai. So cool stuff. Yeah, we'll have to see how this does. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed and that you'll forge some keys.